All right. So, hello everyone. Welcome to the Daily Space for today, May 6th, 2020. I am your host, Annie Wilson. And yeah, most Mondays for Fridays, our team will be here putting science into your brain. Usually Wednesdays are for Rocket Roundup, and today is no different. Let's get to it, shall we? So, first up, once we get everything up on the screen, um, first up we have Quetzal One. The Quetzal One satellite was launched from the Kibo module of the International Space Station at 15:20, that's 3:20 p.m. UTC, on Tuesday, April 28th. This one unit CubeSat is Guatemala's first satellite. It was developed and built as part of the Kibo module, or the Kibo Cube program, excuse me, and involved the cooperation of several international partners to complete, among which are the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs, JAXA, University de Val de Guatemala, the UK Space Agency, the University of Colorado, the University of Chile, TEC Costa Rica, and the University of Würzburg. And yeah, the University of Würzburg. Blah. My apologies if I slaughtered any of those names. I try, I really do. Anyways, the satellite's primary mission, which is expected to run about 6 months, is to use a newly developed sensor suite to monitor Guatemala's own Lake Atitlan. The monochrome sensor is tuned specifically to the wavelength of light associated with chlorophyll, that's the green stuff in plants, in order to track algae blooms, which are often a symptom of agricultural runoff and other contaminants. These blooms are sometimes comprised of cyanobacteria that release toxins into the water, which can harm the humans using the lake for drinking water, as well as other aquatic life. Additionally, the growth and decay cycles of algae blooms often deprive the lake water of dissolved oxygen, which can leave very little for fish and other lake inhabitants. If successful, similar satellites could be used in the future to monitor water quality in other inland bodies of water, helping to accomplish one of the UN's Sustainable Development Goals of achieving clean water and sanitation throughout the developing world. And we have a video. This is just some information on it. The audio was really low. There wasn't a whole lot of audio, so don't worry too much about that. And we have another video. Let me make sure that this is loaded. Yeah, it does just kind of kick it out. And there you go, you can see it floating. We're waiting now for the confirmation.
Kubo, this is the space station and Expedition 63 crew. Congratulations for the success of the Guatemalan satellite deployment from the International Space Station. This great experience of international cooperation would make young engineers to be specialists to support science and technology around the world. I and we are expecting your missions to be completed successfully as you keep pressing on towards your next goal. Congratulations to each and every one of you.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thanks for the words. And everybody watching this mission in Guatemala is so happy.
And it's probably too soft to hear, but that was at the end, that was the Japanese control center confirming the mission. So yeah, that is super cool. All right. And our one and only rocket launch of the week was from China. On May 5th at 10 a.m. UTC, a Long March 5 Bravo rocket had its first flight. The Long March 5 Bravo is a variant of the Long March 5. Both rockets use safer, less toxic rocket fuels such as RP-1, essentially kerosene, liquid hydrogen, and liquid oxygen. Unlike the Long March 5, the Long March 5 Bravo does not have a second stage. Instead, this space can be used for heavier low Earth orbit payloads, such as components for the future Chinese space station. The 3-module space station is expected to have a mass of up to 100 tons and will be launched into orbit piece by piece. And the Long March 5 Bravo rocket is the only rocket in the Long March family that's capable of getting those pieces to orbit. This first flight did indeed have a payload, the Chinese Next Generation Crewed Spacecraft. The Chinese space agencies haven't shared many details with the general public about this craft. A press release by the China Aerospace Science and Technology Corporation stated that the craft can transport 6 to 7 astronauts to low Earth orbit and back. Unlike the older model of the Chinese spacecraft, this new unnamed craft has 2 modules, a crew module and a service module. The service module contains all of the bits for propulsion, power, and life support, and it will likely not return to Earth. The crew module is partially reusable, and that is the part that will return to Earth. This particular version was uncrewed for testing and is expected to return to Earth on May 8th. And this is a video of the launch. Reminder, rocket launches are loud. And you can see the white clouds. I know they have a very technical name that I can't remember their name. And apparently my settings are saving everybody's ears tonight. There will be a cross. I don't remember if this video shows it. But the boosters do all separate at once, and then it's just the core firing for a little. And yeah, this is a really, really long burn. The boosters are the ones that have the RP-1 and the LOX, the liquid oxygen. And it's the core that has the liquid hydrogen and the liquid oxygen. Ta-da! And I believe I have another video. This is a bit more about the mission. And here's the Long March 5 Bravo being removed from the assembly building and slowly moved out to the pad. It was a very slow process. Here's the launch again. Again, we see the white clouds. And yeah, it is a very sturdy road. It is a very sturdy road. So, to wrap things up, here's a running tally of a few spaceflight statistics for the current year. So far, we have burned up 2 toilets in orbit. There are 408 total new satellites in orbit, including those launched from other in-orbit craft like the ISS. Directly from rocket launches are 392 of those. So far this year, we have had 31 launch attempts, including 4 failures. I keep track of orbital launches by where they launched from, otherwise known as spaceport. Here's that breakdown. USA 10, China 9, Kazakhstan 4, French Guiana 2, Russia 2, Iran 2, New Zealand 1, and Japan 1. And your useless space fact for the week comes to us from NASA. Antivirus scans are run regularly on the International Space Station computers. And that rounds out our show for today. Thank you all for listening. I have been your host, Annie Wilson. Today's script was written and edited by Dave Bullard, Gordon Dewis, and myself. Our executive producer is Dr. Pamela Gay. This has been a production of the Planetary Science Institute, a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to exploring our solar system and beyond. We are here due to thanks to generous contributions of people like you. But during the plague times, please don't worry about it. We know you have other things to take care of. So just join us. Please join us. One of us. One of us. Okay. So let me flip over and scroll through the questions and see what you have. Please mark any questions with the, oh, that's not supposed to show up on blank white like that. Look at me screwing up. One of these days I will have this. One of these days I will have this. It was originally green, but it gave my face a funky green color. No, I'm not going to do take 2. It's fine. 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 I could have showed you the this is not a slide. Part of me is like, I could just put up this is not a slide. So, let me close that and scroll up through the questions. Annie with the faulty green screen. Yeah. Does the new Chinese spacecraft have a toilet? Unknown. It probably will eventually have a toilet because they're talking about using this spacecraft for much longer trips than just to their space station. They're talking about going to the moon. They're talking about going to Mars maybe eventually. So yeah, eventually this craft will have a toilet, but no details on the toilet. Considering that they haven't even released a name, I don't think we're going to know about a toilet for a long time. And let's face it, I am one of the few humans on this earth that really cares about what kind of toilet they have. So, yeah, going to Mars in a 3-person capsule. I know, right? So, Raj asks, Annie, did I notice how China's new space capsule did not have a launched escape system? They might have one on the capsule. I really didn't look carefully. As far as I'm concerned right now, they just use this as a payload test. I don't think they're going to launch this particular craft on the 5 Bravo or on the 5. They might launch it from the 5, but maybe not from the 5 Bravo. So there is that. Okay, scroll all the way back up. So I saw a question, and AstroWise popped up with the fact that I left out was quetzals are birds in Mesoamerica, and there are some other words in there that I cannot pronounce, but it makes her think of Quetzalcoatl, feathered serpent or plumed serpent, which is a name for the feathered serpent deity of ancient Mesoamerican culture. I know I left out some details. It's literally because I don't know how to pronounce it and I don't want to look like an idiot. So, Hanny's asked about the Quetzal Cubesat, which, yes, is tiny. It is a 1-unit CubeSat. That means it's 10 centimeters on a side. What orbit is it using? Probably the same orbit as the Hubble. Or not the Hubble, excuse me. Probably the same orbit as the ISS. So I can't remember exactly which orbit. I'm going to go with kind of a low Earth orbit, though. It doesn't really have any propulsion. It doesn't have station keeping, because it is 10 centimeters on a side. So that's 10 by 10 by 10. That's what, 100 centimeters cubed? It's not a whole lot of space. And for Americans that are like, I don't know what that is, take a dollar bill. You can take a $5 bill. You can take a $100 bill. I don't care. All of our bills are shaped the same. Take a paper bill for Americans, fold that into thirds, unfold one of those thirds. That's about 10 centimeters. That is how tiny this craft is. It is tiny. So the 6-month lifespan, the 6-month mission is literally because its orbit is just going to degrade because it can't fight gravity. Yeah. Borg cube with the miscalculation in scale. Yeah, kind of Limp-Rimble. Broken Symmetry says, I once threw satellites into space would be a unique calling card. And yes, that is a very big rocket. And yes, Ark, it is thick with 2 C's. Let's see, we already asked about toilet. DPI points out that the payload capabilities is similar to an Ariane 5. So the Long March 5 and 5 Bravo have payload capabilities similar to the Long March, or to the Ariane 5. Anyways, for the Long March 5 series, this was actually overall only the 4th launch. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I think the last time they had launched a 5 was 3 years ago? I might be wrong. It's been at least a year. So there is a cross when they're released, but the videos that I had didn't show it. There are longer videos. I encourage you to go check out Launch Stuff on Twitter, because Launch Stuff on Twitter has all of the... they post a whole bunch of launch media, and that's actually where I get a lot of my images from. And there are going to be more images there than what I have in the show, because there's just only so many images I can put in the show. But, like, if you want to see bucket trucks with blue booties on their wheels to apparently prevent rubber shedding and coming off onto the clean room floor, you can see that. That's where I found that photo, was on Launch Stuff. So, but there kind of was a little bit of cross when the boosters came off. You could definitely see it. And there is a video that Launch Stuff reposted that switches from IR to visual, so you can see the boosters coming off. So, Larry says, they did not fly over any populations. Yay! I didn't look this morning to see if there was any rocket debris. They used a different launch site than normal, and I actually didn't keep track of what they flew over. So, Ginger says, for a moment I thought it was 400 odd toilets in orbit. No, there's only 3 toilets in orbit. There's 2 on the space station. One is American, one is Russian, and then there's one on the Soyuz that's docked to the space station. And all of the toilets are of Russian design, but America owns one of them. The Americans cannot use the Russian toilet, and I don't think the Russians are allowed to use the American toilet. Nobody wants to use the Soyuz toilet unless they really, really have to. You don't sit on the Soyuz toilets. We have burned up over 140 of them in our atmosphere, though. I need to work on that data point. Hanny's asked, who would hack the space station? Look, we're not going to talk about InfoSec, okay? No. We're just not going to talk about InfoSec. They also swap out hard drives in microgravity, which I don't think I'd want to do that. I really don't, because all I can think about is how tiny those screws are. So, yeah. Let's see. Bad Panda Bear says, the only people who care more about the toilets are the astronauts themselves. Probably, and the people who make them. So, Raj points out that China's new space capsule is a beyond Earth orbit vehicle, so like the Orion spacecraft. The toilet engineers might care much more than I do, and I imagine they know, obviously, how well they work. I don't know, if... Part of me is like, I wonder if I could, like, just chat with one of the toilet engineers. Is this something do I need to add to my bucket list? Because it's one thing to talk to astronauts about toilets, and I think they're annoyed about talking about the toilets. I want to talk to somebody about space toilets that's as enthusiastic about them as I am. Because I've seen some astronauts be like, ugh, they're asking about toilets again. So... Oh, DPI points out that 10 by 10 by 10 is half of a big bottle of soda, which means it's 1 liter, so it's half of a 2-liter bottle for Americans. Although there are more 1-liter bottles and 1.5-liter bottles in the US now, which makes me happy. Jonathan McDowell refers to the Chinese capsule as XZFSC, a description consistently given for the spacecraft by the Chinese. So, I don't know what that pinyin translates to, but I do know that every time I used a freaking translator on anything about this new generation spacecraft, is that it translated to new or next generation Chinese spacecraft. So the pinyin may or may not translate to that, but I haven't really seen a formal name, and they're really not releasing a lot of details. They released a decent number of pictures, but yeah. Does Long March sound more inspiring in Chinese? So, yeah, I'm sorry. It would be 1,000 centimeters cubed. I cannot math on the spot, Raj. So yeah, 1,000 centimeters cubed, which is the same as a liter. Yeah, I cannot math. My bad. January 2019. So yeah, it has been a year. Does Long March sound more inspiring in Chinese? Again, it's another direct translation, and I always thought that the name was really poetic, like Long March, like it's a long, because it is like a long march to the sky to get orbit. And I was like, oh, that's such a poetic name. And it turns out it's related to some political stuff, which we're not going into because this is not that kind of show. This is not that kind of show. But know that the name is associated with a major event in Chinese history. I still think I'm not sure if I still think that the name Long March is poetic because it's a long march to the stars. You know, it's a lot of work to get something up, you know, up into orbit. It's especially if they're talking about going to the moon. It's a long trip to go to the moon. I don't know how, knowing the information I know now, I don't know how I feel about the name. So, but yeah, this is not that kind of show. This is not that kind of show. And when do you use the toilet? You were docked to the space station. Yes, Ambius. Yes. DPI says screwless sliders for the win. You know what? They probably actually do use screwless sliders on the ISS. There's like 100 laptops up there. It's a lot. So we have bits. Let's see, and the dogs are like, I know what that is. Come on, Puck, let me find the Cheerios. Oh, you're gonna come from over here? I like it better when you come from this side. Can you do that? No, maybe. We're gonna, come on, right here. There you go, you got it. You got it. Hi, buddy. Do you want up on my lap? Let's get you up on my lap. Oh, this is the new dog cam. This is the new dog cam. All right, sit. Can you sit down on my lap? He's like, no. But I'll take some of those Cheerios. Let's see if we can get a nice balance between Puck eating Cheerios, because he wants to eat Cheerios. I can see him licking his lips. And I think he ate all of his breakfast. Did you eat all your breakfast today? There you go. Munch, 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 munch. You're so gentle. Yes, you are. You're so gentle. You're so gentle. Yeah, the screw might not fall, but the screw might get propelled somewhere. And if it's a tiny screw, I could only imagine it ending up in a filter or somewhere you don't want it. So yeah, I could see that being why they do the thing. Get one on stream. We need space toilet engineers on stream. So the some of the astronauts, there always has to be somebody trained on like how to fix the toilet. So there's always someone on board that knows how to fix the toilets. So they always get trained as like the plumbers. So maybe get a chance to talk to those that have worked on the toilet, because they might, you know, they might be a little more enthusiastic about it. It depends on the astronaut. Crunch, 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 crunch. So, yeah, we're not talking about Musk's new kid, okay? It's an unpronounceable name. Oh, and they did finally explain what it means. Oh my. Broken Symmetry says, I'm looking forward to leisurely thrills through space. March was long, April was the cruelest. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Astro, that's actually exactly, Mao is involved. Alright, I'm gonna put you down now, okay? Okay. Oh, he heard the dog collar and he lost his mind. I'm sorry. Ugh. Does he know what Puck's harness sounds like? It almost sounds like he knows what Puck's harness sounds like. Yeah. We do have all of the Cosmo Quest dogs well trained. Tinker's nearby. He is nearby, or she is nearby, excuse me. She doesn't like to come and get super close to me while I'm in the chair. She doesn't let me pick her up very often. I usually have to get up out of the chair to pick her up. So, he does have an issue with his eye, Ambius. We're thinking it's cataracts or maybe glaucoma. Puck is going blind. So, yeah, one of his eyes is definitely cloudy. The other one, not so much. So, yeah. And there's a typo in the explanation that will haunt the kid forever. Oh no. Oh my. Oh, he's running between the first floor windows looking for Puck. Aw. Aw. That's adorable. So fun fact about the CosmoQuest dogs. I know a while ago we were talking about how we introduced my dogs and Pamela's dogs, and it ended up being well, Puck gets to meet everybody first. Yeah, Astrowise, I'm glad you know what I'm talking about. So Puck ended up meeting everybody first, literally everybody first. And that was kind of a panic, panic, panic. Please take the dog. This is the dog that won't escape the fence because Tinker's an escape artist and tiny. And Puck being partially blind and not super okay with playing and being with people like he's okay with people. He's not okay with a lot of other dogs. If dogs come up to him and sniff and that's all they do and they don't get into his face, he's fine. But if dogs want to like jump and play and stuff, which is what Eddie likes to do, and Stella, he will turn around and snap. And he has bumped into Pamela's coffee table and snapped. And yeah. Anyways, so everybody was like, oh yeah, have like Tinker and Eddie meet first. Tinker and Eddie do not mix. Tinker is teeny tiny compared to Eddie. I think we might actually have to get a picture of them. I think Eddie's head is like a good quarter to maybe half of the size of her body. And Tinker's like, oh no. No, he is all up in her face. It doesn't matter if I'm carrying her. It doesn't matter if she's in my lap. It doesn't matter if she's on the ground. Eddie wants to be all up on Tinker, and Tinker's like, no. Stella wants to play too much. Tinker's like, no. Malachi just wants to follow Tinker and sniff her. He doesn't want to play. He doesn't want to get in her face. Malachi's just, okay, I just want to check out who you are. And Tinker has apparently zero problems with this. So, yeah, Malachi and Tinker get along great. And by get along, I mean they don't bother each other. He just kind of follows her around and sniffs her, and Tinker's like, whatever. And yeah, that's how the dogs have gone. There is a Aussie free area in Pamela's backyard where my two dogs can be down. It's also Tinker escape proof. So, it's mostly ingress proof. Mostly. I think that's been fixed. Yes. So, yeah. That's how the dogs go. So we don't really, like, the only ones that really have playdates are Puck and Starstrider's pack. Tinker's just like, I just want to be here. Give me food. I want to sit in your lap. Please don't leave me. Tinker is very much whatever until I walk away. And then she's very much like, please don't leave me. Did we move the green screen? I think this green screen got bumped. Tosses Cheerios. That's hilarious. So, yes, we've made s'mores a couple of times. I've made s'mores with Peeps. We burned Bennu. It was good. It was good. It was good. Have some Cheerios, doggos. Because I think that's what you're crying about. So, yes, the obligatory F Bennu. Yes! Yes, Ark, on a Thursday, Pamela made rice Bennu or Rice Krispie asteroids, including a Bennu. The dogs counter-surfed, her dogs counter-surfed, and only Bennu survived. So we burned Bennu in the fire, and you'd think it would have gone up like wonderfully. It didn't want to burn, it just kind of wanted to melt. So it did not want to burn. Yeah, it really didn't. I mean, it's marshmallow. You would have thought that it would want to burn. Shove a firecracker into it? I mean, part of me is not opposed to this idea, and the part of me is like, that might be a bad idea. Did it fragment? I think it just melted. I really think it just melted. Shove a firecracker in it, it might reassemble. The real Bennu would reassemble. I don't know if this Bennu would reassemble. It might just... It might not... It might not explode because of all the melted marshmallow. It might just kind of stay together. So... I am appreciative of all those of you that that really enjoyed rocks, because I've made it no secret that I am not Bennu's biggest fan. I still get emails about the certificates. In fact, I got one this past week. Somebody that didn't remember that they did this at all because they did 2 images. And then I got one today that was written entirely in French, which I am very happy about. Picturing a photo with melted Bennu of Pamela and Annie's faces following the firecracker gone wrong. I think I'm mostly worried about the sound of the firecracker, honestly. Because that's a lot. Scrape it all off with graham cracker. Bennu matters. Unless you multiply the speed of light square, then it energies. Oh no. Thank you for the sub, Beyond the Hypnotic. How did you end up with 3 3D printed Bennus, Blaine? You wanna... I'm not even gonna ask. Not even gonna ask. Nope, not gonna ask. Not gonna ask. Anyways. Bits for the dogs! I'm gonna find Cheerios in the weirdest places in my office. Bits for the dogs! I'm trying to aim for the hallway. I am not quite making it to the hallway. So. Oh, thank you. We really do appreciate all the support. Have you seen Puck? I mean, come here, Puck. Come on. Puck's like, there's Cheerios on the floor. Come here. Do you want more Cheerios? Look, come here. Come on. Sorry, my dog has to be encouraged. Come here, buddy. Oh, have some Puck. Just for you, Beyond the Hypnotic. Have some Puck. So. Oh, good. Good, I'm glad we're keeping you sane. One was in your Bennu swag. Did you have 2 others printed? Or did you get a huge one? I can't remember if Wayne won a huge 3D printed Bennu. We are here for the Broken World survivors. We are totally here. And we occasionally have fluffy dogs. Okay. Oh, I know, you're falling off my lap. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. So, oh, you printed your own. Okay. Wasn't Sandy doing 3D Bennu? PSI printed a lot of our Bennus. And I think all the Bennus that have came from us have came from PSI printers, which are currently busy printing ear savers while they use up the rest of their spools. They were making visors for thingies. I know that's very descriptive. So Okay. Do you want down? We should probably wrap this up, huh? So, yeah, they've been doing PPE stuff because there's still a shortage in the US. Oof! Yeah, headbands to hold visors. Oh, I'm sorry, Puck. I didn't mean to pinch you. He's a little awkward. Yeah, headbands to hold face shields. They've made those. They've made a bunch of those, and then the face shields don't use up the whole spool, and you don't want to. You can't really switch spools in the middle of a print. So they're using up the spools, making the ear savers, which just hold the elastics from like the respirators or the surgical masks or homemade masks, if places are down to homemade masks. Yeah. Anyways, with all of that, I'm going to wrap this up. Puck is itchy. I can hear him being itchy. I'm going to wrap this up. I am going to go do probably some help desk tickets and just check out everything else. So I will see you again Sunday, maybe sooner. I don't know. I will see you again soon. Until then, thank you again for all the support. Make sure you're taken care of before, supporting us. We'd rather just have you here hanging out with us than you going broke. We'll be fine. Don't worry about us. Just come hang out with us. We don't charge you to hang out with us. And, yeah, things and stuff. There should be coffee in the morning. I don't know who's doing coffee yet. And today is Wednesday. That means there's weekly Space Hangout tonight. And I believe Paranor is going to be the one simulcasting that. And yeah, I will see you all soon. So until then, wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful insert time of day here. Stay safe. Be kind. Do good. Wash your hands. Wash your freaking hands. And I will see you all soon. Bye. Awkward transition time.